Hey, gang. Happy Friday. Welcome to another Free Real Estate Advice Friday. Um, so, what's new? I hope you're all doing well. I'm a little tired today. I'm a little late getting here because I just had a lot of phone calls to make and whatnot. But same old here in real estate. Things are pretty heated. Spring market's definitely starting to pick up quite a bit. We have a lot of transactions happening and pretty typical for this time of year. It becomes a big question this time of year. I think probably more this year than any previous year, in that there's this question of, is the low inventory simply a seasonal thing, because we do go through this every season, and then the spring market kicks up and we get a ton of stuff hitting the market, or is this something different? And I think it's probably a combination of the two. I think we are seeing some changes to the market, a little more long term, but we also do have a seasonal aspect on top of it. So a little bit of both. And I think beyond that, it's just speculation. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple months. Mortgage rates are generally on the rise, although I heard conflicting reports that we could possibly expect them to come down sometime soon, which is kind of interesting. I'm definitely not qualified to speculate on that, so I won't try to, but we are seeing mortgage rates in the fours and almost to the fives. I haven't personally seen a five yet. But you keep in mind, you have these two kind of competing factors here. And again, super high level. I'm not your lender, but just to give you an idea of, high level, what we're looking at is, as the rates go up, and I'm sure this is pretty clear to a lot of people, as the rates go up, your buying power goes down. And then, of course, we have what's happening with the market and the inventory, which is that it's super low inventory right now. So, supply is very low, which means that the demand is up, which means that the prices go up. So you get this combination of potentially decreased buying power with the rising rates, along with extreme demand for homes and pressure on the pricing. So it's not a great mix, which is why all the uncertainty is here. And then on top of that, you overlay all the world events right now and gas prices and everything else and inflation. And you have a lot of uncertainty in the market. But listen, we all need a place to live. It beats renting, that's for sure. If you're renting right now, you're not building any equity. And, if you're concerned about pricing, there's a lot of factors here, obviously, price point being one of them. But, if you're in probably the most common price point around here is the 350 to 500 price range. Are you getting as much as you would have 3 years ago? No. But, over the long term, to pay a little premium up front right now because you want, say you pick out a house in Pittstown that's 500,000 and you say, oh man, 3 years ago, this would have been, 460. I mean, that could be true. But, if you're planning on staying there for a while, I don't know how much of a factor that really is. Prices are always kind of fluctuating within that range. But over the long term, real estate is still considered to be a, relatively safe investment. Not a professional investment advisor, but, for the most part, guys like me in real estate and many other agents are, we basically count on real estate as an investment only. So, it's a different market, that's for sure. And it's kind of tough out there, but things are moving along. And, I wouldn't say that it should stop you from trying to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. It's just that there are these caveats and considerations, and, just make sure you're strategic and make sure you have a good advisor on all fronts, your attorney, your lender, your agent, hopefully me. And, you try to make the best decision you can in this crazy market. So, I do have things that I tell my clients in this kind of market. I do generally give my clients a ceiling where I say, this is your top end in terms of what resources you have available to you and what appraisal concerns there may be at making an offer at that price, and so on and so forth. So I will generally, gauging by my clients' financial situation, I will generally give them a ceiling price. Say, don't go crazy here. Don't offer 120 grand over asking, because it's not a great investment, A, and B, it's probably not going to appraise, and C, you can't cover the appraisal, so the seller's probably not going to like the offer anyway. So, things like that are definitely conversations that you have with a good advisor. I'm not in this to just close sales. I'm in this to build long-term relationships with my clients, because that is literally what keeps me in business. So I'm just not the type of agent that's going to talk you into, doing something foolish. So if you're looking for a realtor to talk you into something foolish, there are plenty of them out there, but I am not one of them. So that's that. So if anyone has any questions or anything, please go ahead and post them in the comments. I'm always looking for new topics to talk about. I'm totally happy to take any just super general, super generic question that you have, just so I have something new to talk about. So please post away in the comments if you have any sort of questions or anything you'd like to know. Could be about the market, could be about general process, could be about buying, selling, investments, whatever the case may be. I'll do my best to answer it. All right. So I do see a few people on. I appreciate everyone that's coming out and watching these things. Viewership has generally been up. So I like doing these things. So I do appreciate that there's at least some interest and some people swinging by. I realize almost no one watches the whole thing. It's totally fine. But it is definitely kind of fun to do this. So, keep it up. And if you see the, always make sure if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe so you get the notification when I go live. And obviously on Facebook, do the same. You can do the follow button instead of just the like. And that way you'll be notified anytime I go live. And then always swing on by. And feel free to bounce any questions off me, market updates and whatnot. But that being said, really only two things I was going to do today is, number one, we're going to revisit the market like I've been doing every week and see what kind of new listings we have in the Hunterdon County area. If anyone else wants to ask about any other towns while they're on here, please feel free. I would be happy to just peruse any other towns and give you an idea of what's hitting the market. We can talk about any sort of trends. If you have any questions there, I can do it right here on the broadcast. It's no problem at all. So the two things I want to talk about, number one is inventory. Inventory is obviously super low. I've been talking about that literally for 6 months. Inventory, just saying that inventory is low, we probably have been able to say that for at least 2 years, predating the pandemic, so probably even longer. Inventory has been low. And I think that trend is really not going away. That's part of the interesting part. I saw a report recently that the U.S. is estimated to be 4 million homes short in terms of at the national level. That's how many homes short we are. That is, my understanding, a historical high shortage. So I feel like for the time being, there's always going to be some level of this. I know out here in Hunterdon, I was just talking about this with another agent. There's only so many places that you can grab a lot these days and build a house. So, if you like Hunterdon County, you pretty much are looking at resale. You're not looking at new construction. Now, are there one-off spots here and there where you could put something up? Sure. But those spots are increasingly limited. So, the inventory is super low. It's gotten to the point, I'm looking over at my big board right now. I currently have 12 active buyers. I have 3 active listings, 2 of which are under contract currently, and then I have 1 commercial listing that's still active. So 12 buyers right now. So there is a very good chance, and this is the first time in my career that it's this lopsided. There is a very good chance if you come to me with a listing possibility right now, I could sell it to one of my clients right out of the gate. Now, we have what's called office exclusives, which is a pretty regular practice. And what that means basically is you come to me, you say, hey, Craig, we're going to look to sell our house. We still have a few projects we want to do before we put it up. Probably be ready in about a month. And what I would say was, well, hey, look, this is going to be a great listing. What we can do in the meantime is we can make it an office exclusive. That way you're not going to have a ton of people coming through here. But we might be able to find someone right off the bat that would hit the price that you're looking for. That's the most important part, is the seller gets the price they're looking for. But we all have, I shouldn't say we all, most of the producing agents in this office have a list like that. They have, 10, 12, 20 buyers that are looking for homes desperately. Some of them have been looking for a long time. I'm looking at my board going down the list. I mean, I don't have really anyone that's super new. Most of them have been looking for months, ranging from clients that have been with me for several years to several months. So they're tired, So if something comes up, like let's say you come to me and say, Craig, we got a place in Clinton. We need a month, but we are going to sell it. It's probably going to be around 450. If we can get 470 right now, then that would be good by us. I almost guarantee you I could sell it to one of my clients, which is kind of crazy. But if you do it in that method, meaning office exclusive, it doesn't have to be one of my clients. It could be any of the clients of any agent in my office. We have 160 agents. So let's just average it out and say that each agent has 5 active clients. That's, what is that? 800 people that are potentially looking for homes that need them desperately. And what is the benefit to the seller in that situation? Well, the major benefit is you don't have to show the house. So if you have pets, or if you are traveling a lot, or you just don't want a lot of people coming through your house, COVID concerns, whatever the case may be, you don't have to go through that process. Open houses now, the agent next to me had a open house this past weekend, and she had 70 people through there. So if you're one of the people that says, I don't want 70 people coming through my house, I know that one of them is going to buy it, but I just don't want 70 people coming through the house, then an exclusive listing is definitely a possibility for you. Other situations would be if it's a very nice listing, like over $1 million, over $2 million. Sometimes those are exclusives because again, they just don't want people just constantly coming through the house. Or there could be privacy concerns. It could be law enforcement. It could be a judge. It could be anything where they just they don't want it out there on public record that the house is for sale. So exclusive listings very often work out, but I'm here to tell you that currently these are much bigger opportunity because we all have so many buyers that are chomping at the bit to buy a house. So if that's something that you think might work for you and you have a price in mind that you'd like to get, there's a very good chance we'll be able to get it to you very quick. So that is definitely an interesting byproduct of this market. So if you know anyone that's considering selling in Hunterdon County, I don't know that there's been a better time. I mean, the inventory has just bottomed out. We've had low inventory for years, but this is a new level. So on that note, let's take a look at some of the local markets that we've been looking at on a week-to-week basis. And I'm going to rearrange my screen here a little bit and do a screen share. And again, if any one of you that are watching have any general real estate questions, market questions, statements, queries, whatever it may be, feel free to post in the comments and I will be happy or try my best to answer your questions or react to whatever it is that you would like me to comment on. All right, so let's bring up the Garden State MLS. We're going to look at a couple Hunterdon County towns here. All right, there's my screen share. Let's make this bigger. All right, so what we've been doing is we've been looking at Clinton, Pittstown, Union Township, Clinton Township. And let's start with Clinton. Now, again, I have a good idea of how this is going to go because this is something I do on an almost daily basis. There's not much new that comes on in these markets that I miss. But we are looking at stuff that has come on in the last week. Nothing new in Clinton. Literally nothing new. So currently only 2 homes for sale in Clinton. That is unbelievable. Let's take a look at Franklin Township, where I live. Nothing new. And the last one that went on is already in attorney review. All right, so let's take a look at Union Township. You get an idea of what I'm talking about now when you take a look at the inventory like this. There's just so little available. All right, so we got a couple new ones in Union Township. We typically do. It's a little more high volume in Union Township because of they have condos. This first one is actually listed with my colleague, Linda Akupski, who's a couple offices down from me. And this is a beauty. If you're from Hunterdon County, you probably know this house. This is right on Race Street. So right on Race Street, this is literally right on the road. But what's really cool about this house, besides the fact that the curb appeal is really beautiful, it's kind of a classic Hunterdon County look. You got the white fence and everything, but you also are lakefront. So this is the location of the house. So you really are sitting right on the lake. A good friend of mine lives on this lake. They absolutely love it. One of the prettier roads in Hunterdon County, I believe that's Gebhardt Farm Road. That's, you can see these houses over here to the right. That would be that Gebhardt Farm Road. One quick turn off of Race Street. It's a very nice cul-de-sac there. Beautiful, beautiful road. One of my favorite roads in Hunterdon County, which is saying a lot because I'm from Hunterdon. I've lived here all my life, and there's a lot of beautiful roads in Hunterdon, but I really, really like that. Great location too, because it seems very serene and very isolated, but it's a matter of 3 to 4 minutes from 78. So really, really good location. This is probably about 5 minutes from Clinton. Beautifully, beautifully done home. Total charmer. Definitely has a lot of wow factor to it. I haven't actually visited this one. Linda was mentioning it within the office this week, but really beautiful listing. Beautiful fireplace. Look at this bedroom with the lake view. Unbelievable. $640. I mean, pretty reasonable. There's that lake view. I mean, that's tough to beat around here. I mean, we don't have a lot of waterfront property around here. There is obviously waterfront property along the Delaware, Lambertville, Stockton, Kingwood, Frenchtown, Milford, but we don't have a whole lot of lakes, and this is definitely a very cool option. Okay, so there's your decks out back. Big fire pit right on the lake. Very cool. Great property. Yeah, I could definitely hang out there. I like what they did with that deck. Huh. I bet you could probably Airbnb this. At Hunterdon County prices, it might be tough to turn a profit, and we don't have a lot of destinations out here that people would want to Airbnb, but pretty cool option. See how the neighbors feel about it, but yeah, really neat house. Very, very cool. There's a better view of the lake. So the house is right here on the tip. This is Race Street here, very well-known road in Hunterdon County, and then this is that other development I was talking about. I believe that's Gebhardt Farm Road, and that's that little road right there. So cool house. Great listing, Linda. Yeah. All right, so that's coming soon. I think that goes on this weekend. First showings are Saturday the 2nd tomorrow. Yeah. All right, and we got two more. I believe these are condos. We got 59 Sam Bonnell. This is listed with Catherine Barcelona from Coldwell Banker. This one is a condo, 4 days on the market. And then last but not least, we have one on Stonebridge, another great neighborhood. You don't see a lot come up in this neighborhood. 23 Stonebridge, 1.78 acres. This one's listed with Jennifer Volante from Remax. Let's take a look. Great neighborhood. Again, right off 78. But not too close. You still get a beautiful neighborhood, and most of these are 2 or 3 acre lots. A lot of colonial homes if you're into that style. Great deck system back here. Very cool. Pool. This picture, you can see the school in the background, so you can literally cut through the trees and walk to school. I'm guessing. I don't know what's behind there. I don't know if that's. I don't know what's back there between the trees and the school. Beautiful new school too. Yeah, so it's kind of your standard Center Hall Colonial. Got a little hangout spot here. It's cool use of that room. Very neat. pretty common setup for a house in Hunterdon County. You'll see this literal actual design very often in Hunterdon. But nice open concept. Kitchen looks relatively updated. Yeah, it's very nice. 609, not too bad for this area. See what it actually sells for, but not a bad starting point. Finished basement, it's great. Definitely got a lot of room down there. Very cool. There's a good shot of the overhead there of the whole lot. I mean, 1.8 acres is pretty good. You're going to have a pretty solid buffer. But Stonebridge is nice neighborhood. I mean, it's, your kind of typical growing it up in a neighborhood feel. I don't think cars travel too fast because it's kind of a loop in there. So I don't think you have a lot of cut through traffic. So it's, if you're looking for that traditional neighborhood feel, it's a great area. I know that we actually looked in that area. We just didn't find something that worked for us. We ended up in Pittstown, but I also had some other friends who looked in that area, and I actually have some friends that live there. So it's a great spot. So very cool. I think that's it for Union Township. It is, and let's see what's going on in Clinton Township. Okay. One new one in Clinton Township. Boy, oh boy, we need more houses, folks. 2 Peachtree Lane. Very nice. Let's make sure I point out who this is listed with. This is with Stefan Damark with Kerfis Sotheby's International Realty. Showing start on April 9th. This is $1.3 million on 7.4 acres. Really nice. Custom house, I'm assuming. Wow, that's quite an open area. That's really cool. Beautiful design. Big pool out back, deck, floors, modern kitchen. Yeah, it's a great house. Beautifully staged. Wow, that's some floor. That's really cool tile work. Really nice. Big closet. It's like that potentially looks like attic space. Movie theater. Game room. It's like a second kitchen. Man, you got it all in this house. Wood-fired stove. Beautiful pool situation. Really nice. Trying to get a feel for the location on this. I don't necessarily know Peachtree Lane. Let's take a look. All right. So off Blossom Hill. Deer Hill. Okay. Cool. Great. Very good. Yeah, so this will kind of put you up in off Cokesbury is probably the easiest way to describe it to people around here. Nice area back there. We don't see a lot come up back in that area. Here's a satellite view. So yeah, very cool. Yeah, so not much happened in terms of new inventory. Now, continuing on that exclusive listing, now here's the thing on that. Here's the flip side of it, right? So right now, I can tell you that we have like an internal board that we use. I'm going to stop my screen share. Yeah, so we have an internal board that we use here in the office that puts out, that makes it known to all of the agents within the office of what exclusive listings are currently available. So at any time when I get a new buyer, I can kind of bounce them up against that list and see if anything works for them. So if you're frustrated with, you can't seem to find a house, you have to factor that in. A lot of people, here's the mistake that a lot of people make. in terms of trying to find a house once they've discovered that it's difficult right now, because it is difficult. But part of the benefit of going with a larger broker like us, and we are one of the larger brokerages in Hunterdon County, is that you have access to our exclusive listings. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are only for our agents, because, for example, if a seller comes to me and says, hey, I have a home to sell, I don't want to put it on the market necessarily, I don't want a million showings, I just want to get rid of it, my price is $450. If I can get $450, then I'm happy with that. You can get me more, great, but if you can get me $450 without putting it on the market, I am all for it. So I say, okay, great. They obviously would have to sign a office exclusive listing agreement, but they also have to sign another form called a waiver of broker cooperation. Now, what that means is that it's okay for me to market it within the office, obviously, as an office exclusive, and it's letting the seller know that, just so you're aware, Craig is not putting this thing on the MLS for all to see. We have to be very clear that the seller understands that. Now, obviously, we've had that conversation, and they do understand that, which is probably the very reason they want to do it. But obviously, we have to protect ourselves and make sure that they are fully aware of that, so there's no confusion. However, if I have a bunch of local agents that I work with frequently that are not in my office, is I can selectively choose other agents and say, hey, I do have an exclusive right now. Would it be okay? That's where that waiver cooperation form comes in, because it's not that I'm not allowed to tell other brokers about it. It's just that the seller has to be aware that I'm selectively choosing a few agents that I've worked with before. What I can't do is I can't advertise it publicly. I cannot put it on my Facebook page. I cannot put it on the MLS. I cannot put it on Zillow. I cannot put it anywhere else. That would be publicly advertising while also selectively calling agents. That doesn't work because someone, some random consumer or another agent that I don't know calls me up and says, hey, I saw your Facebook post about 123 Main Street in Clinton. I have great buyers for that. I can't really do that because that kind of goes against, they happen to see that, but a lot of agents did not see my Facebook post, so they didn't have access to it. So it's kind of unfair to do things that way. So exclusive listings are a polarizing subject, mostly just because people don't really understand the mechanics of it. The most important thing is, as long as the seller is happy, then I don't know that you can say it's unfair. It's just a different way of doing things. And, there are a lot of private sales. I mean, that's not that uncommon of a thing. So, and there's private sales for various reasons. Homes sold within the family, homes sold just because, the home has been there for 30 years and everyone in the neighborhood knows who lives there and that they're moving out soon. And someone comes up and says, hey, my cousin's been looking to move to this neighborhood for 5 years. Would you be interested in a sale? Then, of course, you don't need a realtor. You've already got it all set up. You hire an attorney and off you go. That's private sale. So there are a lot of private sales. It's not that uncommon of a thing. My point being in all of this is, if you are a buyer and you've been frustrated, don't wait until you find a house to call a realtor, because you'll miss out on that whole opportunity of, well, the first day you talk to me, I can tell you about our exclusive listings. I mean, any given time, we have, 10 to 20 homes that, are not being publicly advertised. So I can at least take you through that list and see if there's anything you like and potentially work out a deal. So, I'm constantly getting the calls from people that are like, or I'm calling people that have already contacted me and I'm saying, hey, I saw that you inquired about some real estate. So let's talk a little bit about what you're looking for. And they're like, oh, we're just kind of browsing right now. We haven't really found anything yet. Or they're calling me because they found me on Zillow and they see one house they want, and then it's determined for whatever reason that they don't want that house, and they say, it's okay. We were just looking at that one house. Well, I mean, do you want to hear about the other 20 that I have access to that you won't find anywhere else? That's why, generally people make the mistake often of just waiting too long to work with a realtor, but you might miss out on an opportunity that way. So not only should you be picking a realtor that's being strategic and can get your offer accepted in this crazy market, but also have access to, a larger brokerage with some exclusive listings. So those exclusive listings, that is definitely something that's always existed, but there's definitely an avenue even more worth exploring these days because it's really hard to find houses. So you want to give yourself every opportunity you can. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to report on the market, so that segment was pretty short. So as always, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe if you wouldn't mind. I really do appreciate it. The subscribers have gone up quite a bit recently, and that's fantastic. And when I say quite a bit, there's 20, and that's a small victory for me. But I would love to keep seeing that number climb. Tons of new content on my YouTube channel. There's a bunch of new reaction videos and some other real estate info. If you're a client of mine, there's actually more videos available to you that are a little more educational, a little more transactional. So if you're interested in something like that, just contact me because they're not public videos necessarily. So, and then if you're on Facebook, just, like and follow, and you'll get the notification anytime I go live. As always, I appreciate all of you who stopped on by, and numbers continue to go up. So I really appreciate that. And if you have any questions, you can either post them in the comments here while we're doing this, or you can always hit me up ahead of time and I'll be happy to address it. If you can't make the live stream, it's fine. In fact, these have been fairly inconsistent in terms of when I do them on Fridays, because Fridays are generally a pretty busy day for me. So they've been ranging anywhere from noon to 2 that I've been doing these. But if you have a question, you can always ask it to me ahead of time, give me something to talk about, and then the recording's always there afterwards, so you can always watch it later. So, all right. Hope everyone's doing well. Crazy weather this week. It's beautiful out right now. Hopefully that continues. Hope you all have a great weekend. If you need anything at all, please hit me up. Email, phone call, text message, Facebook message, whatever it may be, whatever works for you. And I hope you're all doing well. Take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.